I am now a serial entrepreneur. So,
Yeah,
oh
I
boy,
actually
it's
opened your LinkedIn and saw your about you, and it has changed quite a lot. I didn't know about like your was it Ernest 3D company or a few of these like ventures, and it looks awesome that you have been just going a lot in this how do I say space of AI and medicine. That's how I'm kind of thinking of your development right
So,
now.
welcome to the Unheard-Of Community. This is my first ever episode with my old friend Ernest. So, hi, Ernest.
Bobby. How's everything going?
It's going pretty well. It's like the first episode of this new community that I have been started. It has been going well with some of these shorts. I have been focusing more on the, I guess, Bible side of things. Like Bible verses is my main goal right now. That I just look at each new one and make a short about it with my own understanding, and I just post it online. That's like my current goal, to post as many as I can and to get more attention from people that are willing to come here as yourself. So let me ask you for like a basic introduction, like it can be as long as you wish, to just go through like what the viewers can understand about you.
So, my name is Ernest. I am a four-time founder now, so a serial entrepreneur. Um, I am now a Harvard graduate student, and I am focusing hard on my third and fourth company, which is oral cancer detection and a cool little toothbrush for my dog. My journey to get here, I graduated from Purdue back in 2020, and I started my company because COVID got rid of my job. I started a 3D printing company, and then I mass produced a bunch of inventions, which led to my second company, the Desmoker, which is a over the range fume extractor. And I exited that. And now my third company is Colon Pulp Detection, which is oral cancer detection. We have three hospitals working with us, and it's a very, very simple idea of can we have people's phones give us a more accurate recommendation than volunteers? And so we launched it in three hospitals in Thailand, and we are now expanding to six hospitals. And most recently, I I'm about to start a company called Can I Brush, where we won first place in Boston Tech Stars, and it's just a pretty cool little device or glove that has a vibrating toothbrush on it, and it's for my dog right here, and
Yeah,
he is just conveniently in frame now.
yeah. Well,
So yeah, that is my career, but mostly now I am just leading a bunch of teams and just doing a bunch of meetings. So I'm very happy to be here.
yeah, that's awesome. I really welcome you here. So I see that you've been developing quite a lot since the last years, as you said that we had a hackathon together.
So in college, I was hard set on working in corporate, and I interned at three different places. I Royal Caribbean, Hasbro, all these large corporations. I was like, I'm gonna work at these places. And then COVID hit and everything just changed. Very much forced upon me, but it very much matches my like dedication. When it comes to innovation, however, most of this started when I was like, oh, let's just do it for fun and let's just keep making stuff and continue making stuff. And thus, I uh, entered a bunch of hackathons and I won a bunch of hackathons. I think my win rate right now is around like 70%. And yeah, I just like to make stuff now. So it's a very, very non-linear path that I've taken in this whole entrepreneurial journey. I would say it's very, very different from people who are more motivated when they're younger, academically inclined back when I was in high school and undergrad. But that's completely switched now. I'm like far more just like, let's have fun. Let's build for the sake of building.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had a blast like these last few years, and I really see myself in what you're kind of describing, because I'm almost turning 18, and like there will be a last year where I have to decide would I want to go to university and have like this 4 or 5 year runway of probably participating in quite a lot of these hackathons as well,
and just trying out different kinds of ventures the same way you kind of do, just seek where my interests would lead me. And I think that is going to be quite interesting because this channel that I started for the Unheard-Of Community, it will have a lot more content to envelop, and I have like a lot more minds and people that are unheard of get heard because from the other side of the community. So it feels that you have been practicing a lot of skills. Could you go through like your most how do I say successful or interesting hackathon idea?
The most successful one was my MIT Grand Hack. The biggest things I learned from going to these hackathons is that I always put doubt on uh, how good I am at stuff. And the more I attended things at MIT or Harvard, it was just like, oh, I'm actually not half bad in all of this stuff. So at the Grand Hack, I believe 2024 was when I first started my hackathon journey. I found out that hey, I'm pretty good at making stuff, better than majority of people even at MIT. So I was like, okay, well, now with this confidence, I'm pretty sure I could just continue making stuff faster than everyone else and more. Yeah, I would say 2024 was the most fun in terms of what we made. We made Diet Patch, which is a cool band-aid like structure that has a hydrogel in it. This hydrogel was purely experimental. They broke it out of Harvard labs, and it was hilarious because they're just like, "This is like not supposed to be here." And that was super interesting because I worked with a bunch of med students, and they're just like, "Okay, so this theoretically never happened, but let's just showcase it for when it does get FDA approval." So that was, I would say, my most fun hackathon, but the one I learned the most would be MIT Reality Hack, where I found out that there's a whole different world out there, and the skill sets are extremely different. Like once I entered a bunch of online hackathons where it was much more technical over just presentations, and some of them are much more business focused as well. I found out that I have to like show off in a different way than just like a business pitch or just like an engineering demo or something. You have to like cater it more towards what the judges would be interested in and why they are there, because those people are there for completely different incentives than the participants, and most participants do not understand that. They're just thinking, hey, let's have fun and let's just make stuff, but that's not actually what the judges care about. Judges are there for their own incentives, such as utilization of the product, or like if it's a new product, for example, HP Studios, they host a hack, and Y Combinator does this all the time as well, where they showcase their new product and they're like, hey, let's look for use cases and see what people can make out of these. So now it's like a whole different mindset of how to like participate in all these.
No, I guess if you have like these amazing experiences, you should share them, right? Because they make up the story of how you wanted to continue to these like tens of hackathons you went to. Because if you had like some experience like I did, because I also tried a few hackathons like before and after the one we had together. That's why it's called a team, because someone should do this job, someone should do that task, and you should just have fun together, and then probably get some work done even out of the hackathon, even out of that organization. But it sounds like you've really nailed it. I was going to ask you, what was the main role you participated in each team for the hackathons?
Oh, that is the most interesting question. So this actually relates to my career as well. Most people put themselves in a singular role and say, hey, I'm a front end developer. That's all I'm going to do. That's the wrong mindset. When it comes to the startup world or slash and hackathons, uh, you can't just be limited to one thing. If the back end doesn't work, if the full stack doesn't work, if nothing connects, or if there's no one to present it, if there's a business plan, then you have to pick it up slack. And in a huge majority of the time, whether you're in a startup or you're in a hackathon, there is a weakest link. You have to pick up for that slack. In my case, I was much more oriented for the business and presentation. However, because I've attended so many different projects, I learned how to do full stack development, back end, 3D modeling. Pretty much, I have to do the whole package. Wherever they left off, I have to be able to just pick it up on the spot. For example, my last hackathon, which was Boston Tech Stars, that one, I thought I would be the business person, but it ended up that I needed to do the engineering and the business and the presentation as well. So it was a team of four, but we had one subject matter expert. She knew 100% of what the subject was like, but she doesn't know anything about engineering or business or anything like that. And the other two, who were med students who had nothing to do with anything of the project, they were just there because it was fun. So I kind of had to pick up a lot of slack there. But I would say more business oriented.
How you mentioned the med students of them having their own like specific skills and interests, like if someone is willing to like go beyond their interests, beyond their current knowledge, and to just try to get at least the basic blueprint of another space, I would really appreciate that person from the team, even if he wouldn't be able to really help it. Like for example, the way we actually worked was going to, for example, Discord and just talk while we work together, and having someone try to help. Wait, what is this idea and that? How do we, for example, get this file to do this and that? And they try to get some ideas out. That is like wonderful. I like the teamwork when it becomes even when it's not your job. That's like the best team. It sounds like you had to get not even in one row, in many rows you had to work on, right?
Yeah,
Same
you have to
same on
wear
my
a
end.
bunch of hats.
Not even on the front end. I had to like work on front end and back end. And imagine when the presentation is not even finished and you're like, damn, it's the last day. Now I must work on that as well. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like once you wear all these hats, you start to understand like, oh, this is why it's taking so long, or this is the pain point. This is what he needs to build in future products. So it just gives a perspective that unless you're in their shoes, you just have no way of fully.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you see how there's like teams with fewer people than us and they work on like something much bigger. And I'm like, wait, they're gonna finish this in 7 days? In most of the times, you actually see these guys actually winning, and it's interesting. Applause for them. And yeah, okay, we can move on to something more different now. What does your present look like? What is like your day-to-day life now that you have all of these ventures behind your back and interests?
Third company, Compulp Detection, which is for oral cancer discovery. I handle all of the business paperwork and all the funding problems. So I talk to a bunch of, for example, the Ministry of Public Health in Thailand. I have weekly meetings with them. I have to talk to the directors of each of the hospitals. I have to background check each of the volunteers. We have about 550 volunteers going out to rural areas. So make sure that none of them are criminals and none of them do
Yeah.
anything too sketchy. So far, we've only had like one issue with that, so it's not really that big of a concern. Uh, but yeah, most of my job is just paperwork, and despite it being not the funnest job, just a bunch of it's it's the same thing as someone working in corporate, I would say, where it's
Yeah.
just lots of paperwork, lots of meetings, just to talk to everyone. Uh, for my fourth company, we are that I'm the engineer in. So I'm 3D modeling stuff. So on Fusion, I am 3D modeling this glove structure, and I 3D printed, made a two-part mold, cast it with silicone 30A. Way more fun, but I only do that about 3 days a week. So I allocated to about 3 days for cone pop, 3 days for can I brush, and that is what my week usually looks like.
Yeah, sounds
And then one day for me.
like you're packed every day. And usually there's these times where I've heard founders say, yeah, it's only a matter of time where I try to leverage more team members so that they can kind of offload the work to them, and start thinking about more ventures, because that's how you grow. Have you thought about offloading some of that work, or would you say that it's not needed right now?
When it comes to offloading work, it for both of those, like I am not the hardest worker. It feels like everyone else is putting in as much or more effort than I'm putting in because they have to do the manual labor. So, for example, clump pop detection, we have the CMO who's a doctor. He has to lead 34 different teams. He has to train them physically. He has to do so much more. And I feel like this is the least I can do. I can at least make it so his funding is good, his paperwork is all in order. This is the minimum amount for him to just not have any blockers. Same with the CTO. He is ridiculously good at computer vision. He is leagues above me in that. But I at least know the architecture and what type of databases, what type of data sets he would want, and I know how to like give them orders. So I would say offloading the work is not is like kind of normal for just the startup founders to just do. Like there's no set hours. It's if when you have to work, you work. If something has to be done, you have to do it. No one else can do it for you. And it always feels like I can do a bit better than the average Joe. So if I offload it to the wrong people and it gets done in a poor fashion, then I just have to redo it. So I'm like, I might as well just do it myself. For the engineering portion, it's like there's not much we could offload it to. I mean, we can hire more engineers and uh, we can go about it a different way. But I think I'm the best person for the job right now, at least until the manufacturing process, well, until supply chain distribution forces us to happens. Maybe I'll offload a lot of the CAD work. Maybe I'll offload some of the wholesale distribution and all those to someone who's more specialized in this. But I think this ties back to my previous statement of I have to wear a bunch of hats. Um, yeah, it's like I can pick it up until we have to have the specialists.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. I would also say that it kind of matters where the actual product or company, depending on what value you're providing, is currently at. Like for example, this brush that you said was it for your dog? That sounded like a very interesting idea.
We won that hackathon about 1 month ago, May 3rd. So it was a really interesting hackathon, I would say, because a lot of people brought in their own companies that they've been working on for 3 or 4 years. I came out with that on the spot, and I was like, "Oh, my dog has horrible teeth. I'm gonna just try and fix that." So it's very, very early on. We are on version 6 of the prototype. I believe we need at least version 10 in order to get it to be manufacturable. So the first batch of 100 is going to require us at least 3 or 4 more weeks of prototyping. I can make about one finalized prototype every week, give or take. And while we're doing that, we have our marketing dude, we have our subject matter expert who is getting vets to like help endorse this product, and the med students are helping in terms of the electronics. They are starting from zero, but the thing is, they are Harvard med students, so the rate that they learn is insane. Like they started at zero. Like they didn't know what Ohm's law was. They didn't know any electronics, and now they're just like, oh yeah, this is what piezo does. This is what a fuse does. Like the rate that they learn is insane. So they are developing a lot of the electronics in it, and I'm more focused on the aesthetics, manufacturability, and how to scale it, and the funding and paperwork and all that.
Yeah.
So very early on, I would say, when it comes to the whole startup stage, we're at the a little bit above the idea formation. We have a little bit of validation, like validate that to 1,000 people, and just outreach and be like, "Does your dog have bad teeth?" Well, we have the solution. You brush your own teeth, they should brush their own teeth. However, they don't like their teeth being brushed. Our product solves that because it kind of tastes like peanut butter.
Yeah, you have tasted it. That's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
actually, it's cool that this specific product can be like I'm going to the park and I'm just asking people because if it's like like a software or for example, a mobile app, you not that you can't ask someone in the park, but it's different. It's not like a real product where I could just get that thing and put it on his dog's teeth right now on the spot so that he can really see, and it's going to be a little more difficult when it's like software. Even though you're saying that there are many technical ports, and I know because stick even like a simple LED light, it's so hard to get it inside, plug it to the battery, right? So many problems that the ordinary person that just buys the product wouldn't see, right?
That's why we're starting a video series where we showcase our engineering. We have like, I believe, like 20 something hours of footage of us just grinding it. So we have footage of me like designing it in CAD. We have footage of the med students soldering and like cutting open a toothbrush to see how it works. And then we have our subject matter expert going to vets and talking to a lot of dog owners. We just a lot of moving parts, but that's the fun of the startup world. Like you get to see the entire process, not just like corporate where you see one little cog and that's all you get to really do. Like if you do software front end design, then you degree, and they have to pick up some slack uh, where they need to. So like if the med students have to do some business or the med students have to do some marketing or something, they had to do marketing, I guess, and
Yeah.
vice versa. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Cause as the viewer of the founder, I would say that it's much more different as for example, a new hire. Cause they just don't think at the same level. For example, if you think about like your own personal development, you probably might not be as interested as seeing like the future intentions of the founder. That's something I've kind of seen from a few quotes, like a few people just talking in podcasts, like bigger founders of, for example, Postcock was it? I think I saw like, the founder. I don't remember his name really, but it was an interesting talk because you see these people, they just get like confronted for, they just say, I don't really have much time, but he's like, only 50 minutes. He's like, okay, let's get it out, and it gets to like an interesting talk, and you always have like this um, these nice lessons to go by with after every venture.
With all my successes, there's actually a lot of failures that like I don't really
Yeah.
talk too much about, but they teach me a lot more lessons than my successes, I would say. Like I love rock climbing. I am a hardcore rock climber. I do some like V6, V7 rock climbs, which is like pretty hard to do. It goes up to like V8 and up. Uh, I tried to make a company. This was company 3.5 kind of where I was like, oh, let's 3 print these rock climbing holds. I found out so much about how hard it is to manufacture stuff that is highly regulated and has a lot of potential injury. And then it's just a lot of learning to do when it comes to a lot of a lot of areas, especially the industries where you're not too knowledgeable about. Like I'm now in the healthcare industry and I'm awkwardly in the manufacturing industry. So unless you're in the middle of those two, um, usually you don't see many people jump around to two separate companies and two separate, like entirely mutually exclusive subject matter expertise. So the fact that I'm trying to jump around to industries is just a lot of learning to be done. Like I didn't know what FOB was before this. I didn't know what the whole supply chain looked like with the wholesale distribution, primary, secondary, tertiary, all those distribution chains, and it's like it's a whole different world the second you look outside the box.
Yeah, I was
But yeah,
going.
when you when it comes to your software, um, you want you well, 2 years ago, I believe you were like, oh, hardcore software, and you want to stay in that industry. Are you still in that industry?
Hardcore software. Uh, do you remember TS Circuit? Have I told you about that company?
I
I'm kind of, I think years away now from it because actually had been working there for like almost 3 months, but something happened and I had to, get just leave that job. I think that was the unfortunate route there. But it was quite interesting because the name of it, TS Circuit, literally says that I'll be working with circuits and using TypeScript. And it was quite interesting. Like I had to think through quite a few of these. Libraries. One was called JSCAD, and you could literally see how we have like the squares, the triangles, and how they get from 2D to 3D. And it was very fun. Like I enjoyed working there. And since then, I have mainly been trying to think of any some app ideas. Like for example, this one called Barbuds, which currently I have been kind of had on pause because it's almost at this not even almost, it's at the stage where it should have a beta test. And the thing is that I don't really have many people to beta test it with. I have almost 100 followers on TikTok, but that is kind of it, and like one person in a Discord server. So it's little rough because a lot of people, like for example, when luck comes to your path, you would get, to you get successful, and I'm like, yeah, say less, but that's like probably less than a 1% of the whole ecosystem of apps. And he's like, what? Like only less than 1% earn more than $5,000 for the lifetime of the app. And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't believe that, and it's actually true. A lot of people think that literally it's not that hard to make an actual app, but to distribute it, and they're right. Like distribution is key, and that's why it got interesting when you said that you got 200 people for your prototype on the first day of just going by a park. And I'm like, can't I just go to a calisthenics park to another city, see if people would wanna use it? And I probably could, but it just gets hard when people don't really appreciate like your idea. But you must continue. That's the I guess lesson from
yeah,
these
yeah,
chats.
just keep going. Yeah,
Yeah,
like be relentless. Be bold about what they say.
yeah. Actually,
So
when you
yeah, I
think
would
about it,
say,
yeah,
yeah, I would say if you're looking for people to try your app, well, it sounds like you should focus more on the problem statement at this stage, but if you want people to try it and just see if there's like a good enough market for it, then there's places like Reddit, for example, who will roast the crap out of your app and be like, "Oh, here's the problems. Here's loose API keys. Here's why no one want to use it and all that."
yeah,
Uh, but also like just going to places and like physically showing them the app and just kind of hard selling it, just be like, hey, try it please.
yeah,
It's much more effective, I would say. But if a lot of people are not very receptive towards it, you have to pivot very quickly. A lot of change their mindset very very like instantly. So when I go to these hacks and when I go to these competitions, uh, occasionally I bring my own ideas, but they rarely are the final idea. The toothbrush, for example. Initially, I was gonna make a computer vision model that would just see, hey, is this cavity? Is this not cavity? That was the initial idea I came in with. That didn't land because there was no way to monetize that. Monetizing an app is extremely hard to do. Like you mentioned, a very small percentage make over $5,000, and the business people there roasted the crap out of me. The second I heard that, I had to switch it really fast. This that You can't just be complacent with your mindset of I'm building this. I don't care what the market says. I don't care if I can make money. I don't care what the professionals all say and all that. Idea is not the perfected idea. So if you want to get user feedback, but the user feedback that you get attacks the problem itself, then you might want to pivot.
Yeah. So
And
the
pivoting is just like changing a little.
The general idea with barbots, in short, is literally you can see all of these fitness apps and some that are even trying to go a little bit more, for example, into calisthenics, that space, that sport. And I actually trained that, and I'm like, I don't really see an app that helps with more real-time feedback. Not like real-time as if I'm getting it on the spot, but something more like I'm not just watching a video of someone doing a perfect form push up or a pull up and trying to do it myself, but then not seeing any form feedback. My idea is that rather than using your phone to watch a video, you just watch, for example, a video to see how it should actually be done, understand what you should do. Frames, every second has 60 frames, and my idea is to keep costs low so that I do only like 8 to 10 frames out of these 60, because it will be a lot more expensive if I do like all 60 frames of each second and place all those to an AI prompt. And my idea is that I place it to the prompt and say the the person in the video will be doing an exercise from either, for example, squats, pull-ups, dips, all of these like exercises in a big list, and you must identify what it is, how many reps he has done, and the quality of his reps, like an overall, like A, B, or C. A being the best, and C being the worst, and finally, what list of things he can improve on. So like specific things he has done wrong, like for example, getting his elbows flaring and his hips kind of moving a little not in the right direction, and just list these things so he knows for the next one. And it could become like a progression system. Let's say that you had a few successful tries of doing nice diamond push-ups, and then if you have 3 A's or 4 B's, you can maybe unlock the next push-ups, which can be, for example, archers. Or you see what I mean? Just kind of get this progression system and get you more in the loop. And it's not only the idea to be on my app. The idea is that the user should actually progress and not just be like, okay, I've unlocked, for example, the muscle up. What else can I really do? How do I do it? Do I get a trainer? Like all of these things, and this app could really work out as a coach, because it will be relatively cheap monthly, like $8 to $10 max, and it would be analyzing to some good extent. Like I'm not saying that there cannot be an actual real life person addition to that, but that could be a future feature.
That I'm seeing here is of you're thinking just like an engineer. You're thinking of more of here's the solution, but this might not be a problem that people want to pay for. So the two main pain points that of at least what your mindset would be, are people willing to pay for this? That's the first issue. And I don't know that market well enough to say yes or no. That's something that you need to figure out. But that is problem one. Problem two is that most engineers are highly focused on the technical side of let's develop this because it's cool, because it deserves to exist, which is amazing, yes. But is that what people are asking for? Right now, you don't have anyone asking for anything, so you don't know just yet. The second you get the feedback, you have to be able to switch it up really quickly. In the world of AI, the product itself is easy to make. Your product that I'm just thinking right now, like, how would I make this? I would just use Google Media Pipes to put nodes on a skeleton essentially and make sure that it's like a flat line, and that's the way that I would make it. But if I can make it, someone else can also make it, which means it's vibe codable. If that's the case, what matters at the very end of the day is it a big enough pain point and did you market it well enough? Which, if you don't have customer feedback or validation in any way, then it's a hard sell. So you're asking for $8 or something. Who knows if someone's willing to pay 10 cents for it? My case for rock climbing, I wouldn't pay a penny, bro.
Interesting. Yeah. I've seen like a change from like the your like 2 years ago version and right now. Like right now, I feel like you're much more motivated for everything like you're saying and that you're doing. So how would you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Well, so I think my main change since 2 years ago is that I found a mentor. My mentor, he is a billionaire. He's founded about 20 something companies, and he has sold a stupid number of them. I believe the lowest that he sold one for was like 8 figures, like mid 8 figures. So he's extremely successful. Uh, the way that I see myself in 5 years is kind of similar to his career path, where I just keep founding stuff and I just keep selling it, or I keep growing it into something way bigger than anyone's ever dreamt of. So I can see my toothbrush idea becoming extremely successful, at least a seven-figure business, because I have this problem, and apparently 80% of all dog owners have this problem. So it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And if what I can if what I make truly solves it, then uh that's enormous. In terms of my other company, Clone Pup Detection, oral cancer detection, that one is already a self-sufficient program. We have hundreds of volunteers now. It's already in hospitals. It's expanding it, or it's all about just expanding it. In 5 years, it's probably going to be all throughout multiple countries. So like Thailand, Malaysia, Pakistan, India. Those are the main countries that have oral cancer problems. So I think I can solve. I think I can save way more people than that. Right now, we're saving about 5 lives per month. So it's good numbers. Well, five confirmed saves. The estimate is around 50 people, but we can't confirm that we saved those lives yet. But yeah, in 5 years, I think I'm gonna have a lot more companies under my belt, and I think I'm gonna save a lot more lives, make a lot more products, just keep going essentially. And that's the fun of it, right? You
Yeah.
just never stop learning, you never stop iterating, you never just keep doing stuff, and it's super fun. Like I never have a day where it's just the same thing again and again. I always run into different problems of like, oh yeah, marketing, and like we need these video clips, or oh yeah, this part doesn't work. We need to change the part. We need to order these components, or like, oh, this AI is not seeing the proper images, so we switch to a VLM model, or we go into a different CNN model, and or we build off another GPT or something and then build off that. It's like it's never the same problem. It's always going to be a different, unique issue, and that is just the most fun thing within the startup world.
Yeah. Essentially, the grind never stops, like in one sentence,
Yeah, the
and
grind never stops.
and
Yeah.
and that is the cool part. Like having all of these different problems and literally being as the founder and still getting like involved into like the nitty gritty stuff. That is like awesome because you're literally like let's say you're a new hire, you're talking to someone, but I would still help out because this is like what I have started and we're going to do this together. As you said, a team is what makes a product move, not just a single person who can get exhausted, burnt out in literally the first month. That is not even literally only the paperwork for the company existing and paying stuff, thinking about it. That is like exhausting. That is getting my mind like crazy. And imagine having to think about the product itself, how I'm gonna sell it, to what person I'm gonna talk to, the business connections. It's just so much, and I now I see how these big corporations are just constantly hiring and have like all of these systems. Like um, they just need to function. You can't go without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a good team. You need one person who's great at business, one person who's great at engineering, one person who's great at marketing. But the thing is, all of them have to know a little bit about the other portions as well.
Yeah.
So you can't just have one person as a pure engineer. They have to also be able to do marketing, a little bit of business, a little bit of pretty much everything. So finding that good team is very, very hard to do. And usually it's not about finding them in the final form. They have a lot of learning to do as well.
Yeah.
Everyone has to grow together, essentially.
They can't be blind for the other person's work, because if I'm just giving you, the front end, I must know what the back end does, right? But I just don't
Mm,
specialize in it. I guess that's kind of like the
exactly.
the mode of it. Okay, I think we went through almost everything that was kind of planned. So to wrap up, what would you say? What advice would you give to, for example, your younger self? Now that you have gone through all of these things and a few ventures now, you said like four companies. What would you advise like the younger Ernest?
The younger me, I had a lot of self confidence issues. I always thought there would be another echelon above me. To my younger self, I would say you can be the best. There is no echelon that is above you. It's all about just effort. The people who are number one in these competitions, they're not leagues above you. They're not some god, messiah, or prodigy or something like that. It's the effort behind it. Yes, there's a component of them. Maybe they have a better head start. Maybe they have some tools, resources. Maybe they're just born a little bit smarter than you. But the thing is, you can still match them if you give enough effort. It's all possible. Never would I have imagined I would be in Harvard. Never would I have imagined I would be very, very successful. But it's not impossible. It just keep going.
Yeah, awesome words. All right, Ernest, it was a pleasure talking with you. Like, I was intending for this to be like literally 50 minutes max, but I'm not
Oh
even sure.
yeah,
It
yeah,
turned out to
same
be like
here.
2 hours, or was it? Like
Yeah,
such a
it's
long
two
talk.
hours. I have like one more meeting in like 30 minutes, and then I have a conference in 5:30. Um, but so far, this was pretty fun. I have to eat lunch in like 30 minutes
Oh, there
or
you
within 30 minutes,
you'd
so
have a lot to
it's gonna
do
be
these 30
really
minutes,
really
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks so much for having me on, and yeah, I will catch you in the next podcast.
yeah.
Peace.
Bye, Ernest. Ernest is a great example of what we should all be, literally proactive, trying to get our ideas out, seeking mentorship, and just not being afraid of failing and asking. And that is what this unheard of community is all about. People that just have a lot of stuff, a lot of stories to share, and can come over to the stage and just talk with me. You see, 2 hours passed like nothing, and we had even more to talk about, but we must wrap it up now. So if you wish to see more, you can subscribe, and yeah, we can see you next week. Bye.